Hey everyone, Michael Hammond here today. We're only a couple weeks into the new year. How many people have already failed a New Year's resolution or a goal that you set out and you didn't quite hit it? We talked about earlier last week, taking action is critical, and I firmly believe that taking action is critical. But let's now talk about you set some goals, you set some objectives, whether they're corporate goals and you wanted to book more demos or more discovery calls, or they're personal goals and you wanted to eat better or start exercising, and some of it hasn't gone as well as you had hoped. I think the key thing is understanding don't strive for perfection. None of us are going to be perfect. None of us are going to hit all of our goals. None of us are going to obtain all of our aspirations in that single time. So what we have to learn to deal with is how do we handle challenges, objections, obstacles that come in our way, right? That's the key of moving forward. That's the key of reaching the levels of success that we want to get. It's not going to happen overnight. John Maxwell wrote a great book a number of years ago, Failing Forward. We're all going to fail in life. That's inevitable. So let's just understand that right now. But the key is, if you want to be successful, if you want to continue to move forward, you've got to fail forward. You've got to learn from the mistakes. You've got to learn from why didn't it go the way that I had hoped it. Analyze it. Don't overanalyze it. Don't get paralyzed by it. But look at it and say, what could I have done differently? Learn from it and move on and take action the next day, and on and on. There's a wonderful individual named Brian Johnson. He does Optimize Plus One. He does Philosopher Notes. A lot of great information that he shares. I get his daily emails, and I'm going to paraphrase, so I apologize right now, Brian, I'm not getting this dead on, but I think the concept and the essence of it is critical and right on point for what we're discussing today. In one of his videos, he was talking about top performers, key elite athletes, CEOs that have gone on to accomplish great things, people that have done amazing things and added great value to others. And he defined it, and he looked at them and said, well, what do they have in common? And he looked at it and said, okay, one of the things that they have in common is how they looked at a good day or a bad day. A good day is that you lived up to all of your ability. You gave it your best. You were the best version of yourself. Doesn't mean that it was perfect. Doesn't mean that every deal closed. It doesn't mean that you ate perfectly. You exercised as much as you needed to. You read 5 books. That's not what their definition was. Their definition was, did you live up to your full potential? Did you give it your best that day? And in analyzing these key performance athletes, CEOs, most of them had between 4 and 6 bad days. Bad day is defined as didn't quite live up to full potential. Didn't really give it your best. Let other things drag you down. But what was more important and most surprising is the one thing that all of those elite people had in common. There was different days that they had bad days. There was different times of the month. There was this, that, and the other thing. But the one thing that all of them had in common is they never had back-to-back bad days. And remember the definition, living up to your full potential, being the best version of yourself. So the key is not living for perfection. Yes, you got to take action. You got to analyze and look at what's working. Did I make enough calls today? Did I read as much as I wanted to so that I can continue to grow and expand my thinking and add more value to people? Did I eat as healthy as I needed to? Did I take the steps that I needed to? And then if you did not live up to your full potential that day, you have to do a self-evaluation, look at it that evening, and then more importantly than anything, you've got to be determined that next day not to have that happen again. Because where we get in the most trouble is, oh, I didn't eat as healthy as I should have. Oh, I already blew it, so I'll start again next week. Yeah, I needed to make those cold calls, and I got busy, and I'm working on this other proposal and this contract, and these other things are taking place. Oh, I'll get to that later on. I'll get to that the next day. The road to tomorrow leads to nowhere. we've got to quit putting things off. So you need to take action like we talked about. You then need to analyze, did you give it your best that day? If you didn't, you have to make sure that the next day that you do, because compounding effect is very powerful in a positive way. You had another good day and another good day. And it can also lead to a very terrible outcomes when you let one day lead to another bad day and another bad day, and now you don't exercise and walk at all, and now you're not reading. Now you're not making as many calls as you need to. You're not reaching out and making the connections on LinkedIn. So let's go out there and have an amazingly blessed day. Let's analyze what we need to do, what worked, and go out there and make great things happen. Have an amazingly blessed day, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.